like anime, obviously. That's a dangerous claim to make. There is a certain stigma that comes with being an anime fan. But once in a while, you find something that is truly unique. A friend hit me up many moons ago and said, "Hey Kirk, you want to go see a Japanese band?" And I thought, I don't know, that's kind of weird. But yeah, sure, why the hell not? And he gave me the link and he gave me some songs to listen to. I'm like, okay, this is really good. What are they called? The group was called Band-Maid. Yes, Band-Maid. And if you're wondering what the gimmick is, it's kind of a play off of the Japanese idol stereotype. You know how there's like idol bands that have like different characters in the band that sing and all that stuff. Well, it's like that, but it's with metal and hard rock. So definitely a whole other tier. And the appeal is that it's a bunch of very attractive Japanese girls wearing maid outfits. Okay, I said it. I said what the fucking gimmick is. Let's move on. If what I just said made you cringe a little bit, I'd ask you to keep an open mind. I did, and I ended up having a really good time. I know there might be this stigma that there's going to be, guys that look like me in droves at these concerts. That would be for Japanese bands. But you'd actually be surprised. Not a single person had that Ahigo face hoodie. If you know what it is, you know what it is, and I'm not going to show it here. Not a single person had that, so that was good. Well, there was a lot of dudes. There was a surprising number of elderly people there as well. And what was interesting is that they weren't really into the band because of the Japanese maid thing. What they were in for it was the music. And let me tell you that, gimmicks aside, looks aside, this group of players is another group that is incredibly talented. Like, all of their shows on the North American tour so far have been sold out, and I see why. It's not just because they're attractive Japanese girls in maid outfits. It's because they are incredibly talented musicians, and Jesus Christ does it show. The fluidity of the guitarists when they shred, the way that the drummer drums, it's all incredible. It looks great. I wish I could show you more pictures than what I have, but unfortunately, it was a standing area only. So, not really much I could do. It's just a lot of the dudes were taller than me, and I'm like, dude, I'm 5'11", and there's people that tower over me, and I couldn't get any pictures, but that's fine. With this show, there was no opener, and they were punctual. They started on time, they ended on time, no encore, and they peaced out. No special visuals. More like a punk rock underground kind of feel, like a small venue. It was over at the Fillmore in Philadelphia. If you've ever been there, it's like a theater. When the girls first came out, man, people went berserk, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh God, here come the weebs. But actually, it wasn't that bad. I can't tell you what songs they played. I didn't audibly understand what the lyrics were, but what I can tell you is that it felt awesome. It was like a high adrenaline rush from start to finish. No slow songs, little stopping here and there, just playing, singing, and talking with the audience and having fun. And this kind of bullet train momentum as it was going through, it made that concert fly by. We got to the end and we had been there for almost 2 hours, and I'm like, holy crap, it's over already? And then I look at my phone, and I'm like, oh no, it's like 10 o'clock. The music was fantastic. Like I said before, the band members were incredibly talented, amazing musicians, and I cannot stress that enough. I will say that there were some points in the show where the audience kind of got a little too fanboyish. Like, I get it, I know, Band-Maid, Japanese band, anime, all that stuff, but there were some points where they kind of were a little too aggressive with the girls. Well, what I mean is that, the band members would stop and talk, and they don't speak fluent English. I mean, and they tried their best, and they said, we're happy to be here in Philadelphia, and we like cheesesteaks and all that fun stuff. But but some of the guys would just scream the girls' names. And there was one point where the bassist Misa came out, and they were screaming for her. You could see on her face that she was kind of shocked. She was like, "Oh, geez." But it was funny. So she had a Yingling. And evidently, this was the first Yingling that she had in the U.S. because Yingling is only available in the upper northern states of America. And she cracks, and people are screaming and screaming, and she's like, shh, and they don't stop, and they don't stop. They calm down, and she cracks the beer, and she starts drinking it. And I could tell on her face that she didn't like it. She said that she did, but honey, you can't fucking fool me. I've seen many people drink beer, and you did not like that Yingling, but that's fine. That's totally fine. So she was drinking it. She took a sip and kind of scrunched, and then she kind of forced herself to drink. And then the crowd started going, chug, 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 chug. She heard jump and started like jumping around in circles. Like she was cute. And they were all like cute, which is, again, I feel kind of weird saying it, but it's true. The band members have like their own different like archetypes, I guess. So like Misa is the cool one. The singer is the leader. The one guitarist is like the really cute one. The other guitarist is like the super energetic one. One thing that kind of made me cringe a little bit, was that there was one point during the show where a bunch of guys started yelling kawaii, and they're just like, oh, the fucking anime fan. If you don't know, kawaii means cute in Japanese. It's an anime. It's an anime thing. But it wasn't that bothersome. Like it made me cringe a little bit to actually hear it out loud, because and it's like, oh god, here we go. But the crowd was having fun, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to say that, oh, you shouldn't go to these shows unless you're a fat neckbeard dude like me. It's like, no, like, just go and have fun. Because it was evident by how the way the girls interacted with the audience that they were having fun too, despite, their names being shouted and yelling, woo, kawaii, and all that stuff. Like, they were feeding into it. They were feeding off that fun energy in the audience, and it made the show all that much more enjoyable. Now, you might be asking yourself, Kirk, which one is your favorite? You see, with idol bands, there is typically, each person is going to have a member that is their personal favorite. My favorite is Akane, the drummer. What a woman. She didn't really talk much during the show, but she didn't really need to. I've always kind of gravitated towards drummers because I like that chaotic energy. And there was one point during the show where she was eating a banana and she came out. And this girl, she deep throats half a banana. Like one bite deep throats it. Takes the peel, signs the banana peel, and then chucks it in the fucking audience. And I'm sitting there and my jaw dropped. And people are scrambling and fighting for this banana peel. And I'm like, oh my God. But it was awesome. It had that kind of energy that Motley Crue used to have. And I don't mean like the destructive, alcoholic, hurt yourself, but just that like, we're going to have fun, we're going to play, we don't give a shit, whatever happens, happens. It was that kind of raw fun that comes from bands that are fresh and young and new and exciting. And that's how the whole show was. I will say also that the one guitarist, she has this thing where she like says, pawn, like after her sentences, like, okay, you know how in anime there's like a cat girl, they say like nya at the end of each sentence as like an onomatopoeia for an animal sound? So she does that after every sentence and goes like da-da-da-da-da-da, pawn. That's actually a pigeon sound because she likes pigeons. And I thought that was kind of cute. And they would talk to the audience throughout the show with mildly broken English. But it was still fun, They said how they like Philadelphia, they like cheesesteaks, they like beer, they love America, all that fun stuff. As weird as it sounds, I would say if you get a chance to see a band like this or see Band-Maid specifically, go and have a fun time. I will say is that it's important to keep an open mind and not expect the worst out of the audience. If you go in expecting a stereotypical crappy anime group, you know what I'm talking about. Those guys in high school, middle school, you know what I'm talking about with the Naruto headbands and all that. If you go in with a negative mindset and you think that you are going to have a bad experience, then you are going to. I kept an open mind for the most part. I did cringe a little bit here and there. But at the end of the day, it was all in good fun. Everyone at that concert was nice and respectful to everyone else, to the band. No fights broke out. Nobody got punched in the face. no mosh pits. It was just people who enjoyed this kind of music, who enjoyed this group of women, and enjoyed this band having a shitload of fun. And I think that's kind of cool. So I would say, give it a shot. If you can get tickets before they sell out, which for this tour, they are sold out already. If you ever get a chance to see Band-Maid, go for it. You won't regret it, and you're going to have a blast of a time in a concert unlike anything you've ever seen before. Now, I wish that they had Band-Maid Band-Aids, and I think they might have in Japan, but sadly, the US, we only got regular band merch. I had to choose carefully for what shirt that I got. My friend went with the shirt that says the band's logo, but with like the American flag, so it said Band-Maid in Japanese with like the American flag, like red, white, and blue. Whereas I picked this one. It's a pretty fucking badass shirt. Now, I will say, their outfits are not this eccentric. This is more so for, like, album covers and promotional material. The actual outfits are, like, not crude, but they have a more, like, homemade look to them. That's more so for, like, movement because they're jumping around and playing and moving arms and stuff like that. So they got to be able to move. And if you were dressed like this, you'd have a hard time moving. But we see this really kick-ass shot of the different girls. And, of course, the tour dates. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.